what not to do after the discovery of infidelity for both the betrayed and unfaithful partner. Hey there, I'm Lauren Consul. I'm a licensed marriage and family therapist and a certified sex therapist. One of my specialties is infidelity. I run groups and retreats and have worked with hundreds of couples and individuals healing from infidelity. And these are things that I have found to be helpful to think about in the initial phases, which I know can be really hard when it feels overwhelming and like your world comes crashing in. These are things that if you are able to avoid them initially, it can be beneficial in the long run. But if you've done some of these things already, don't worry, that is super common because when you first discover infidelity, your world gets turned upside down and you are responding in all sorts of ways. We can still address these things, but if I've caught you early enough, here are some things you're gonna wanna think about to not do after the discovery of infidelity. Let's start with the betrayed partner. Number one, don't make big decisions right away. You've just experienced a trauma, and this is not the time to make big decisions. You not making a decision right now doesn't mean that you are staying or going or anything else. It means that you are honoring that you just went through something traumatic and need to take some space and some time before you make any decisions. Number two, and I know this one can be really tough, but don't ask every question that comes to your head. Instead, write them down. Keep a running list of questions without judging them or analyzing them. This allows the questions not to take up much space in your head, and writing it down allows you to really look at the questions and understand them better. Because questions are a delicate component of healing, and I want you to be able to work through them and ask the questions that you need, but I would really encourage you to work with a professional who has experience working with infidelity to help you navigate these questions. Because once you know something or once you see something, you can't unknow it or can't unsee it. And some information, some answers to questions can actually do more harm than good. So you really want to take this with care. And you not asking a question initially doesn't mean that you aren't going to ask it, because you can always ask that question later. But you want to approach it with caution so you can really help yourself heal, whether you stay in the relationship or not. Number three, and this is a bit similar to the questions, but don't read and go through every little detail of text, emails, photos, or anything else that there is. If you need to, save them in a file or put them away or somewhere that you can access them later, but don't go right into them. And I know this can be really, really hard because in these initial phases, you are just grappling. You're trying to hold on to anything and trying to make sense of this. But again, once you see something, once you read something, you can't unknow it. And that can actually do more damage to your healing than if you hadn't ever seen it. But I know that can feel really hard if I don't see this, if I don't keep it. So find a way to keep it. Put it in a file, put it away, put it somewhere where you know you have access to it to help calm that part of your brain that's going, but we need to see this. Then take some time before you go into it. And again, really thinking and understanding why you're going into this, what you want to get out of it. So there's intentionality. So you are making decisions that are going to help you in your healing process. Again, whether you are going to stay in the relationship or not. Now for the unfaithful partner. Number one, do not trickle truth. It can be incredibly tempting for you to just give little bits of information or try not to tell the whole story to try to spare or protect your partner. But this actually does the opposite most times. It actually creates an unsafe environment because your partner is just waiting for the next shoe to drop. They're wondering what's around the corner, and it's going to keep their nervous system on high alert for longer, rather than if they have all the major pieces of the story and the information where it's going to be overwhelming. It's going to be hard. It's going to be hurtful for them to hear. But what the research has generally shown, and everybody can be a little bit different, but in general, it is better to have all of that information rather than to have another bomb dropped later on where you discover something or something is disclosed later. It can create that feeling of what's next? What am I going to learn? And keep them hunting and looking and on alert for more information. Again, this can be really helpful to do with a professional to talk about that disclosure and sharing information. Number two, don't make excuses. It's not, I did it, but we were in a bad place. I did it, but we weren't being intimate. I did it, but I had this trauma in my past. There are no excuses. There is understanding, and we do want to understand the why. That is a huge piece of the healing process. And if you haven't watched my other video on the 3 phases of healing from infidelity, I talk a lot about why. The why is important there. But the why is different than making excuses. And it can be better to say, especially in the beginning, I don't fully understand why. And I'm going to work to understand it and share that process with you. So you don't have to have all the answers right now. But what you really don't want to do is make any excuses. You have to own your decision, because whatever was happening, People have experienced that before. Your partner was in that same relationship and made different decisions. So it's not about excusing, but it is about understanding. Number 3, do not run away from your partner's big emotions and triggers. Triggers are going to be a part of this process, and you have to work with them rather than against them. Triggers are actually going to be something that's going to help you heal and move forward. So when your partner has big emotions, sit with them, be with them, hug them, hold them if they want to. They may not want that in the moment. They may not know what they want because there may be this push and a pull, because you used to be the person that they turned to when they were upset, when they were hurt. And now you're also the person that has hurt them. So they may be drawn to you because they're like, I need your comfort, and then push you away because I don't know, you're the one that hurt me and that's scary, but I want you because I want safety, but I'm also scared and I'm hurt. And so it can feel like this push and pull. So the best thing you can do is just be with your partner. Nothing you can say at this moment is going to make it better, but your presence can be immensely helpful. And if you don't know what to say, again, it's okay to say, I don't know what to say. I'm here with you. Whatever it is. Some things you might say might trigger your partner more, so maybe asking them in a calm moment what they want to hear. But whatever you do, don't run away from their big feelings. That's going to help you guys in the healing process. Because again, in that push and pull, you staying, you being with them is going to help remind them that you guys can have these challenging conversations, that you can be a safe person again. And that's going to take time, of course, but that's consistently over time, showing up and being there helps remind their brain that you are a safe person. Now remember, both partners have a role in the healing process after infidelity. Those roles are different, and it might be weighted different at different points in this process. And it is a difficult journey, but with patience and understanding, it is possible to rebuild trust and move forward and have a relationship that you never imagined you could have with intimacy and connection. But it's through consistent work over time that you get there. If we can catch some of these things early, not fall into some of these pitfalls, which are really common. So again, if you've fallen into them, no, you are not alone, which is why I've made this video, because I see it happen so often. It can help soften and ease some parts of the healing process. But no matter what, this is not going to be an easy journey forward. And it's that difficulty, it's that consistent work that can help you create a relationship that's different. Let me know if you have any questions in the comments below, and be sure to hit that subscribe button if you want more content about how to have more satisfying and secure sex and relationships.